Hey guys, today we're going to look at quicker shooting. So first we're going to look at Messi, and then we're going to look at Kane. So let's begin with watching this clip. So really want to point out here is, as I mentioned in my previous video, the feint run of Messi. So as you see, Messi lands on his right foot, his non-dribbling foot. He kind of drops his shoulder, and then as he takes a step or a touch, so sometimes he tilts more. I think he tilts more generally if he's closer to the defender, but it varies. But he often does at least drop his shoulder here, and then sometimes lands on his outside of his boot or his pinky toe to kind of like make his knee point out there and kind of like twist his hips, so it gives a bit more flair. So how it relates to the shot is just the idea of not telegraphing where you're going to shoot or when exactly you're going to shoot, because you see here he takes his touch here, so drops his shoulder with his right side, and then it's kind of, you see that torso kind of like turns to the left as he touches it here, and then his next step is where the planting foot is, and he takes a quick shot. Now this is kind of significant because what I've been trying to do is take a quick shot. So you see Messi, he takes a quick touch with his left foot, and his next touch is the actual shot. Sometimes when people train, they kind of like push the ball out like a few feet, and then they take a couple steps to shoot. So it's good like to have the ball under control, and then you can immediately shoot it when you see you have an opportunity. Now also to talk about the feint run, you see here this is where his shoulder drops like this, and then as he kind of like twists like his hips that where, and I think sometimes it's hard to see, but sometimes you do slightly like tilt your body to the left to give a slight like almost like a shoulder drop to the other way. But if we were to go this like frame by frame here, like it's quite difficult to see when Messi's going to shoot, because at this point it doesn't look like he could shoot. It seems like it looks like he's just going to take a touch maybe in front of him, and here, even though here it's not too obvious. About here, like as he accelerates his like right foot to like plant, that's where I guess it's a bit more obvious, and and then the defender has to react late to blocking the shot. Now, something I'll get a bit more later in the video is you see how after Messi takes his touch, you see like his right foot. It doesn't go too far in the air. It stays fairly close to the ground. So I'll briefly talk about this. Like before, I had a habit of always like jumping because I really wanted to bring my leg back and then swing as hard as I can. But the problem with that is like when you jump too high, like it gives the defender lots of time to get in front of the ball, and even the keeper, like sometimes they spring on their toes and then they can time their jump. Like as soon as you like land from the air, so it's twofold. It helps get the shot quicker without getting it blocked and telegraphed, and doesn't let the keeper like time his like I guess his feet to bounce exactly the way when you strike the ball. One thing to know is you see as Messi strikes the ball, you see where it lands, like it goes here. So I know it's just a training session, but you have like a professional goalkeeper, he gets beaten like right over here. So that kind of just like I think illustrates the point that like when you do this type of shot without jumping too high and like not telegraphing your shot early, it can be hard to anticipate when the shot comes off, and the keeper can't time his jump exactly when you hit it. Okay, now let's look at my attempt. So just for reference, I'm actually right-footed, so let's flip it, so make it look like I'm using my left like Messi's. So again, it looks subtle, but like I really wanted to make sure I didn't jump too much, and once I like landed over here, um, just try to do the same thing, like tilt my body over to the left, and like as if I'm, still doing the feint run. And you see at this point, it doesn't look like I'm going to shoot. It looks like I might even just keep like dribbling the ball forward. And even here, this is where it begins to look like I'm going to shoot. And then, you see my foot is still a little bit, I think, too high. Could be a bit lower, but, it's much better than it was before. And then, try to get that shot off quickly. And one thing I want to note is, as I mentioned before, like if you jump higher, it gives your kicking leg a lot more time to like swing back and then come back forward. But since like you don't want to telegraph your shot, I find if you don't jump as high, what you can do is like as you come down, to bend your supporting leg. So in this case, so my right leg here to bend, and then that gives my um, left foot enough like time to really get back and get forward without losing power by almost stopping myself with my plant foot. So bending my plant foot leg, and then as I come, I find it's like naturally, since like I'm bending down, it's easy to bend forward. So a lot of times you see players like Messi, like it almost looks like they crunch their body down here. So with that in mind, like bending your knee, I think that's something you can look out for to really make that follow through go to the direction you want without losing too much power. And just for reference, how I used to shoot, well, how I normally shoot actually, I'm trying to correct. Here's like a video of me shooting about a year and a half ago. So you see, as I come, like my last stride is very long here. So at this point, it's well in advance that I'm going to shoot. And you see how high I'm in the air. I'm like almost like a foot and a half in the air where my left foot is. So the defenders know that like I can't possibly like move or like go to the other side. So it gives them so much time to actually like block the shot. Same with the keeper. They know I'm in the air preparing for the shot, so they can time their bounce um, to as soon as they land. So it kind of made me curious because a lot of times I would have really, a lot of power, and sometimes I would hit it like into like one of the corners, but like the keeper would save it somehow. Even though sometimes some player with like lower powered shot, they wouldn't save. So that's it looks good for like video, like showing how much power you have, especially if it goes top corner. But again, I think jumping too high is definitely a detriment. And I also want to look at Kane's shooting, given that I don't want to jump so high anymore, and also bend my supporting leg to compensate for uh, making my giving my kicking foot enough power through the ball. So as Kane approaches the ball like this here, there's two factors that are noteworthy of Kane. It's like first you see where his plant foot is. A lot of times he hits across the body like this, rather than put his not planting foot more or less where he's going to kick the ball. And also, significantly, is how much Kane bends in the follow through. You see, like he bends like almost 90 degrees like this. So before I wasn't too sure why. I thought, oh, maybe he just wants to make sure the ball doesn't go too high. But you'll see in a bit what I realized. Trying to follow Kane's technique, but keeping it in mind. You see Kane's foot. His planting foot doesn't go off too high in the ground. You see in my previous club, like my foot was like almost here, but you want to get that shot off quickly without telegraphing it early. And now here's my attempt at Kane's style shot. Now, I just want to point out, it's really exciting for me when I saw myself kick it this way, because it looked a lot different, and I've seen like myself shoot many times, but here I could really sense that I got the shot off really quick. So you see, this is my last touch with the ball, and then I could get the shot off really quickly. So before I was experimenting with just hitting more with the laces or the instep, like getting more power rather than more the side of the boot. And I found it was a lot easier to do it this way, especially if you don't jump high, to go across your body. So my foot's planted to the right, and then to hit across the body. Because I think like since you're swinging across, it's a lot. I guess like the trajectory's a lot more consistent. You don't have to rely on like spring your plant foot and like landing on your kicking foot like 5 feet in front of you. Um, Whereas, if you were to hit it head on, like, I think generally you need to, like, kind of almost jump forward with the ball. And if you're not jumping high enough, I think it's very difficult. Also, that's another point is, actually I was working on my weak foot, and there's a lot of factors that I actually noticed I would do on my right foot that I wouldn't do on my left foot, so fine-tune things. Maybe I'll make a video on that and tell you about my progressions. But one of the things was, like, I found it was very easy to hit with the side of the foot if your foot was more planted on the ground. That's because, like, since you, like, unlike the laces where it's kind of like in front of you and you really have to, like, kind of like make sure, like, it goes in front, because, like, if you plant your foot too long and you don't sweep across, say you're going this way, since, like, your foot is, like, planted on the ground for too long, it kind of, like, brings your momentum this way. So a lot of times you scuff the ball and your leg will, like, do this, and then, like, the ball will have, no accuracy and be very weak. Now, whereas, you say you're hitting with more of, like, the side of the foot, like, you're going for, like, a curling shot. I find, since you're not going, like, your trajectory, or at least your leg shape isn't, like, head on as much. It's more like a bit to the side. Since the follow through is a bit more like this, it's not as significantly as forward. This has much less of a penalty of, I guess, affecting your momentum and making the ball sail wide and being very weak. So as I mentioned before, Kane oftentimes, like, bends down really low, so it's hard to see. But, like, what I tried to do is, like, as soon as I was about to land, to really bend my left leg here. You see, you might notice it, but honestly, it felt very bent. Like, the feeling was quite significant, even though it doesn't really look that bent. But yeah, believe me, I tried to bend it as much as I comfortably could to get a good shot. And since I'm bending down, almost like, falling down, like, I don't want to fall back. It's better to fall forward with the momentum I kick. So you can see, kind of like Kane, like, I didn't plan on this, but, like, I just noticed this would naturally happen. You see, as I try to fall through, see, like, I'm really bent over like Kane's. So if you see, like, my body shapes with Kane's in this instance, see, it's fairly similar. And since I'm sweeping across my body like this, you see, like, we almost, like, you see Kane always goes cross-legged as he falls through, since he's not, like, springing forward, especially with not as much high of a jump, and going across the body. And of course, you see, us bending down like this.